Hey everybody, today we are doing another Friday Night Movies, and today it's Halloween in July. I mean, this whole month it's Halloween in July. But I am Matt, and I am here along with.
uh your worst nightmare, Tristan.
So here's something funny, your worst nightmare, Tristan. Today is not only Friday, which obviously it's a Friday, because Friday Night Movies, duh. It is the 31st of Halloween in July. So, Tristan,
Cool.
it lined up so nicely, Tristan.
Of course it did.
It's not just Halloween in July, which we do every year. It is the 31st, which also ends up being a Friday. Now, here's something so odd. How all of this lined up when talking about what we're talking about today, which is the first Nightmare on Elm Street movie. So it lined up with me randomly telling you, hey, um, it's really late, and this was a couple days back, as of this recording. Hey, it's really late and I'm really tired, and this is a very bad time to be thinking of Freddy. And you laughed, and then
Right.
I went to sleep, and I didn't have any bad dream. Well, I had a bad dream. It was not about Freddy, thank God. So I wake up, and then all of a sudden, I think I asked you, right? Have you ever seen Nightmare on Elm Street? And you were like, no, and I was like, motherfucker. And then you said to me, "Oh, would you like to do that?" And I was like, "I wasn't even." Yes. Um.
I've just given him ammunition.
Well, because you randomly were like, "Oh, I'm free tonight to record,"
Yeah.
and I was like, "Oh, I was not expecting this," and you were like, "Oh, do you want to do Nightmare?" And I was like, "I was not expecting this." So, but I'm very happy to be talking about this because it's a movie that I enjoyed when I was growing up. I first saw, I think I was 10 or 12, and I must have rented like the VHS tape. That's how long ago this is. I'm pretty sure I watched it on my television VHS combo.
That's the real nightmare. VHS quality? Oh no.
Actually, so this is gonna sound silly to some people, I'm sure, but while I love me some Blu-ray on a lot of stuff, I love Blu-ray. I really do. I love, I want to see things in the best quality possible, but I feel like it's a situation where if something's new, right, I want to see it on
Yeah.
Blu-ray.
Right.
But if something's older,
No.
I mean, it really depends. Like, when I watch something like Planet of the Apes on Blu-ray, I'm like, I can see where the mouth begins.
And ends.
I know, like it's really sad because it looks great, but I mean, even seeing Super Sentai in Blu-ray, there's like a model in Die Ranger, and I've shown you Die Ranger on DVD, and it's a model that's in the opening theme song when they're like Tenshin Da, and you can see the dragon. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you see the dragon on the movie, in the movie on Blu-ray, you can see the strings, and I'm like, no. So it's just one of those things where seeing this on Blu-ray, I can see like some of the shading being different on Robert Englund, who played Freddy earlier on in the movie, and I'm like, no. Where if seeing it back in the day on a very small CRT on VHS, it's much harder to notice shit like that. No one's fault because who's going to account for Blu-ray 20 years, like 30 years later. By the way, 35 years. This movie came out in '84. Well,
Damn.
36. Yeah, a young Johnny Depp in his first major role. I believe this was before 21 Jump Street. I'll
Right.
check right now. But either way, though, it was a role that he almost didn't get. He just went with a friend of his who actually ended up playing Freddy in the 2010 version, the remake. But but yeah, no, he went with his friend and he ended up getting a part. It was supposed to be a part for like a big dumb jock. Basically, that's what they were looking for. But in my opinion, it made much more sense with the other guy being who he was,
Right.
that they went for like a Johnny Depp, because like I don't know, I feel like his character needed to have some, like he didn't need to be like this big hunking dude. to be Nancy's boyfriend. Like, you need to have like a kind of like a soft side, but also kind of like oh, you're a dumb teen, but not be like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? You don't
Yeah,
have to be a brute
not
about
the
it.
other guy.
Yeah, because I feel like maybe the other guy they wanted to go for like a more slimy kind of guy, maybe. But I feel
The
like his look worked.
musician type.
The musician type, yes, exactly.
Right there. Right there, sir. That's the post.
But let me see here. Oh no, yeah, 21 Jump Street came out in '87. So yeah, this was actually his first. There's a reason why I said introducing. So,
Right.
yeah, no, and I think he played the part well. I don't feel like there was a weak link. Maybe some parts. I looked at Nancy and I was like, yeah, like she's a young actress, but like,
Yeah, I felt like at the beginning when Tina was being murdered by Freddy, and her boyfriend screaming, "Oh, Tina, Tina!" I'm like, "All right, man, you're. I hate to say it, but you're really not selling it right now."
oh, okay. I in my head I was like, I was sold on it because she's getting fucking murdered.
Oh yeah, no, the corpse being swabbed around the ceiling was kind of distracting. But then I heard him like the fourth time screaming her name.
Tina.
I was like, all right, you're kind of taking away from it now.
Sometimes less is more.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but
Thank
so
God I had Patchy here to watch this movie with me. Ow. Thank you.
yes, Patchy, by the way, being your cat, who was she actually watching? Because sometimes I remember some pets of mine would watch whatever the fuck I'm watching.
No, the worst part was when she'd like roll over in her sleep, but she'd like catch herself because she'd almost roll out of my lap, and it would link up from when Freddy was slicing somebody, so I'd feel claws in me, and I'm like, fuck.
In her sleep, you say.
Yeah,
Claws, you say.
yeah. I'm
Speaking
getting
of
murdered.
speaking of that existential crisis, I have to say though, dude, I really enjoyed how even as someone like myself who's seen this movie like fucking like 12, 13, a baker's dozen uh, amount of times, I still sometimes am watching the movie and I don't know when someone is dreaming or when they're awake, specifically Nancy. And I love how there are some cues, of course, some obviously being very blatant and in your face, but
Right.
in general, though, just the way her mom acts, sometimes I don't know if she's like, honey, just go to sleep because she's a distant mother or because it's actually Freddy in disguise or some shit.
Yeah, I don't know anymore.
And I think that's what I really appreciate about the film because you looking for any of that stuff or were you just like, look, man, either, I mean, she's telling me she's asleep or awake, I don't know.
Yeah, I felt like most of it I was trying to at the beginning, like you said, it was a bit more obvious when she was awake and asleep. So I'm like, okay,
Well, that's a
but
body bag, and I'm pretty sure we never had body bags in our high school. So you're like, that's a point against her being awake.
yeah,
A pretty
um,
big one.
yeah. But towards the end, I'm like, all right, it's a 50-50 shot. Is she awake? Is she asleep? I don't know.
Freddy's alive, and you're just like, well, I mean, she brought him to the real world, so I guess I don't
Yeah.
know.
Oh, I kind of gave up at that point. I'm like, if you say you can do it, you know what? Go for it. I just want the bastard dead at this point.
I mean, she got the hat,
She did.
which you were very happy about. You
Oh
you
yeah,
you screamed at that like Goku turned Super Saiyan. You were
I
like, she
did.
got the hat.
Well, because, okay, so here's the thing that I've come to realize through Matt showing me various horror movies is that
Right.
I think I'm starting to realize why I don't like horror movies
Mm.
is because I don't like I get the fact that's what the medium does and like people enjoy that and people enjoy that feeling. The fear comes from the sense of being helpless that you can't, that they can't the characters can't do anything against this evil or whatever it happens to be. um I don't like that feeling at all.
And
I
that's why
absolutely hate that
and
feeling.
that's why you mainly focus on certain types of anime where obviously the characters are in peril,
Yeah,
but you're not going to have Goku get blended
Or even
Uh,
well, yeah, or even
I can't say he can't die because he died like several times.
or like something recently that I watched, The Promised Neverland. Like
Hmm.
I won't spoil anything, but like they have the odds against them, but they still come together and figure out shit and how to deal with it, how to get out. You know, they can prepare. You know,
Yes,
so
and of
like
course
it's
at the
still
end,
tense, but like
yeah. And Nancy prepared towards the end. She home alone the fuck out of them.
yeah. Oh, I appreciate the fuck out of that. That was great.
That was hilarious. But um
I really wanted the sledgehammer to hit Freddy in the nuts, but at the same time, I knew that would have taken away too much from the horror aspect. But like,
well, it's funny. If it was like Freddy 4 or 5, like one of the he would have gotten hit in the nuts and you would have heard like a gong or something
yeah, right.
or a crack. Yeah. But one thing that I told you, Tristan, I said I don't want it to hit him in the nuts because like I feel like his dick would have a face or something and it would just completely. I'm like I'm torn. I don't want to give Freddy that ammunition. Speaking of, I think you also and both of us being the same age, being older, being 27, we look at some of Freddy's antics and we're like, what an edge lord, and we're not like terrified.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Because it was hilarious. Like at the beginning, I'm like, let me try and take this seriously. Let me go along for the ride and see if it
Mm-hmm.
actually gets me or does anything for me.
Yeah, because I was worried you were going to be a little bit too like it was going to get to you too much. So I was like, you do you want to like do like a funny riff tracks as the movie goes on? And you were like, nah, dude, I think I'm going to be fine.
Yeah, no, like it's a very. I can't really like name stuff that will
Like that'll
necessarily
get you. Yeah.
yeah get me or off put me until it's there, which is kind of a problem.
Well, I
But
mean, I guess it's just the execution, you know.
yeah, I it also helps that this is an older movie too, so like the graphic stuff isn't I can tell like it's special effects. Like I
I
know that.
love the blood that they used because it's so easy for you to. No, no, but it's so easy for you to go, oh, it's red blood. It's not real blood. Like movies
Yeah,
nowadays, they're like, no, it has to be so dark that you think it's coming from your own flesh.
yeah, yeah.
And so thankfully, even though they used allegedly, this is according to some stuff from Wikipedia, they used over 500 gallons of fake blood.
I believe it. For that geyser scene alone, I could believe it. Jesus
By the
Christ.
way, so take a guess as to how they actually made that scene work.
Well, because he got sucked into the bed, and then they shot it back out.
Mm.
What the hell would they like? Did they like cannibalize a vacuum cleaner or something?
Well, because in my head, I would think, well, obviously, I would think at that point they reversed the footage, but I would assume that they have some kind of hose shooting it up, right?
Yeah, right, right.
But it never came down.
True.
They actually used a rotating set and they had it upside down.
Huh.
So it was actually,
yeah.
yes,
That's
it was,
really cool, actually.
yeah, dude, it was actually practical effects and it was shooting to the ground, which looked like
Right.
it was the ceiling, which is why when it hit the ceiling, it actually looked like it
Yeah,
was
spread out.
spread
Yeah,
out like it hit the ground.
right. When the floor is the ceiling and the ceiling
Yeah.
is the floor.
It was and so of course but then they cut to the mom who she's supposed to be looking like she's scared that she's seeing all
Yeah,
this when
right.
I mean maybe she saw a little bit of it like maybe but like she like as an actress but I'm pretty sure they're like just react to it and we'll cut to you because she was never standing in the room with the blood like you cut from her to the blood from her to the blood and then when you see the scene a little bit later they're not even in the room they're downstairs and the blood has seeped into the
Yeah.
fucking ceiling which the cops were like oh I was not expecting this but in general though it was very interesting because you and I also being older we don't sympathize with the adults because obviously fuck them but to
I mean,
well, I'm not, well, no, we would kill Freddy, but when I say sympathize, I
yeah, yeah.
mean we're not like, oh yeah, lock her up or anything. We're not there yet.
Right.
But
Like
at
their parental reactions aside from the mom cuz well, I mean, okay, the mom kind of flip-flops, which puts me in a weird position. But like, I get where they're coming from. They're like,
Because we're older. So
it's like,
yeah, baseline, we get it.
what? Yeah, like any regular person would be like, oh, my daughter thinks the killer is in her dreams. Like, obviously, we need to get her some help, and there's something wrong here. And like, I want to help my daughter, but like, the murders can't be from a dream killer. Like, what the fuck?
But I will admit, though, if I, at some point in my life, ended up killing a child murderer, I mean, just hypothetical here, right? Just shooting the shit, right? I, and then I hear the name of a child murderer who's trying to kill my kid, I'd at least be a bit concerned.
Yeah, right.
I'd at least be like, honey, go to sleep. But I would definitely call my cop of a husband and go, hey, remember that guy we murdered? You mean Fred? Yeah, no, yeah, Fred.
Yeah. Are we sure he's dead?
At the least.
Like,
Not that he's a
I know
dream.
we burned the place down, but like, did we find his remains? Like,
yeah.
His charred bones should probably still be there.
Exactly. So, because again, like, I'm not saying that you immediately go from 0 to he's a dream killer.
Right. But yeah, like, obviously your child is screaming about something attacking and murdering all of her friends. Maybe put a little more stock into what she's saying.
Right. But that's the whole point of the movie, is that, it's detached parenthood 101. It's using drinking to coping, both what she did and also the fact that her and her husband are clearly on the rocks.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, I thought they were divorced at first when they first...
I'm pretty sure they are divorced or separated from the looks of it. But
probably,
yeah, so...
because her cop husband didn't take to her burning down a place to get the guy too well, even though, he got off because of a technicality. But, like, he was probably like, honey, that's against the law. She's like, but he murdered children. I understand that, but...
I mean, why'd you go burn the place down? Like,
yeah, geez, you could have just shot him and...
yeah, no, literally, you could have just shot him. Huh. That is a lot less theatrical, isn't it? Yeah, kinda.
You and half the neighborhood got together to burn this fucker to the ground. High five, but like...
How funny would it be? It's so funny that Tristan is
how did that conversation go down?
No, but what I love so much, everybody listening in, is that Tristan's like, man, I guess killing Freddie must have ruined their marriage. And it's like, how funny would it be if they're like, no, we're cool with that, but he just works so many hours that, like, we just can't really connect. Like, could you just imagine that? Like, they were just totally on board for the murder. It's just general.
It's funny, I kind of wondered that too. At first, I kind of wondered that, but that's the thing. That's where I get where, like, the mom kind of flip flops. Like, at first, she's like, oh, I want to help my daughter. Like, at first, when she brings her in and they like study her sleep patterns, I'm like, oh, that's actually a legit, okay, that's a legit way to try and handle what's going on right now. I can jive with that. And then we just get to the point where she's like, yeah, I burned him down, and then putting bars on the house and saying, go to sleep, it'll be fine, you just need to sleep. I mean, I get she's at wit's end at that point, but like,
again, that's the point. It is bad parenting 101. Again, it is this idea that, listen, I know what's best for you.
Yeah.
I'm not going to listen to you. No one listened to Nancy ever. No one listened to Tina. No one listened to I forgot his name. Musician. I can't believe I'm blanking on his name, but no one listened to these kids, and they were getting picked off one by one.
Right.
And I mean, hell, even before, he ended up getting killed in his cell, they were like, no, it has to be him. As if a knife was going to do that shit.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not saying you have any other rational explanation immediately, but like, you have two people in the bed together and he used a knife to do that. I mean, her blood was on the fucking ceiling.
Yeah, like, how the fuck do you explain? Yeah, when they're like, oh, the boyfriend must have killed him. He had a switchblade on him. He did it. But then you look at the crime scene and it's like, whoa. Like, I get it. Blood splatters and spurts, obviously, but like, the ceiling.
Because Could you imagine if he was still alive during the geyser? Just, I can't believe this son of a bitch did it. Got out
Yeah,
of jail, and the first thing he does is geysers. He puts, kills him in his bed.
with his
Awful.
switchblade, and it just erupted everywhere.
You know, he got a coronary artery is what he got.
Musicians and their
Just,
knives.
oh my god. Um, but so when talk, but no, but it really is just bad parenting, and that's the point. Is what it is. It is not listening to your child. It
Yeah,
is. It is. It is this type of this suburbia run wild. This idea of this. Oh, it can't happen in our town until it did. Something that at least the setting, I feel like you're a bit more not the actual like themes of the movie because you have good parents, but you're the setting though of like you living in Long Island versus me living in Queens. I never really got to see like the fences and the houses that look like that. So what I'm saying is, why do you live on Elm Street, Tristan?
I know that.
No, but in general though, looking at like where they lived, even though they were shot it, I believe, in California.
Yeah, like that whole back alley was really odd. I don't even know what they were trying to emulate with that, to be honest.
What back alley? What do you mean?
Well, like, because her yard, there was, like, she had the fence, and the yard extended out, and then you open the fence, and then there was, like, was it the next street over? Was it an alleyway, or?
Oh, okay, yeah. Um, I will admit that was a little odd, but like the house in general, like the whole white picket fence shit though, and the house in
Oh,
general,
that, yeah, yeah.
it's meant to invoke this idea of it's like, oh, this is it's any old town, any old
Oh,
street,
yeah,
any old place.
that's white suburbia 101.
Exactly.
God,
And
it
you
hurts to
know
look at.
yes, it does. It hurts to look at it, but we have to look at it, and you have to see the underbelly of it all, and that's, I think, what really is what they sold us on.
Yeah, and it's
Because
Freddy.
yeah, because like
It really is.
well, it's not, but it's also what they did to Freddy. Even though I don't like to do the whole both sides thing, because don't get me wrong, like I would have been in that.
Oh
I
yeah, no, I would have been handing the gasoline cans to the mom, like, nah, burn the fucker down.
exactly, yeah, I would have brought, I would have been like, so, Matt, we're here to kill him. I'm well aware. So you brought a grill? I mean, you got gas, I got a grill. I'm just saying, barbecue.
Oh my god,
Why can't we turn this into a good time?
you're right.
Um,
We should barbecue him after we're done.
all right,
Not
this is all right. You know what? Now I'm out. I was just trying to have a good time with all of you white people, and now all of a sudden, this turns into cannibalism. I'm out.
and I brought it back. Oh my god, and I
Uh,
reined it right back into scary white suburbia
Um,
real
but
quick.
and something that I have to say that I loved, by the way. So you just you were saying before, like, yeah, Freddy is that underbelly. I enjoy that they didn't. Sometime, look, I love the idea that, hey, look, everybody has redeeming qualities, but I'm happy that to see something that someone can just be an evil piece of shit.
Yeah,
He deserved to die, and he doesn't understand that he got what he deserved, and he's like, no, I'm actually gonna come back and kill you, huh?
yeah,
It's like, no, dude, that you don't need to enact revenge. That was our revenge on the shit that you did wrong.
yeah,
Do you not understand? I think there's a disconnect here, Fred. Fred, you're the one who killed all of our children.
yeah. I'm glad they didn't turn it around. It's like, well, your kids were abusing me, and
Yeah,
shitting
exactly.
on and screaming horrible things at me and defacing my property, and yeah.
Well, thank goodness. You know what, Fred? You were right. We were
You're
right.
right. We should have parented them better. Thank you for getting rid of them so we could start again and try again with a different child.
Exactly. Like none of this weird like both. I mean, again, you could argue, yes, it's awful that he was let go, but of course you could say, the kids are paying for the sins of the parents, and the parents not being open with the kids is why they died. Again, bad parenting. We can get into all of that, but to me, it's not one to one. Oh, but did you know that Freddy also liked to paint? And it's like, well, that he could have been a great painter. He also murdered a fuck ton of kids. So how about we do something about that, or you know.
A great painter too, but look how that fucking turned out.
Yeah, exactly. So that's my, you know, I like that it's, you know, there's no.
It's nice to see a villain sometimes that's just the villain. Like, granted, there are great villains that are made that can be more than one dimensional, but this is
Yes,
a villain that you have to make more than one dimensional.
exactly. Something I want to mention too, bringing it back to something we mentioned before. We mentioned Freddy just being so edgy. I there were just certain parts, certain things that he did that I know I shouldn't laugh at, but I guess because I've seen it so many times that it's just funny to me. It's just him cutting his own fingers off or like slicing to show the maggots. It's not a funny visual, but it's just the idea behind it that I find funny. Where like he's just like, well, no, I'm just picturing Freddy being like, "Hey, bitch. You see this? That's your nipple. Sliced it off. Now I got one less nipple. Oh, that must be hard for you." Like
Yeah,
like it's just confusing. You know what I mean? It's just like,
yeah,
hey,
yeah.
I got an ear. Slices it off. I got one less ear. Ha ha. Van Gogh or Van Gogh? I don't know. I'm gonna kill you. All right, cool. I don't.
Right.
Well, you made that painter reference before, so I cut off my ear. See?
Jesus Christ.
That's funny. Like it's just one of those things where like it again as a 12-year-old we would have been like, oh god, right? You know, it's a 10-year-old, 12-year-old, but like now we're old enough to be like, psh, what a weird guy that old Fred. Huh. What a card he is, cutting his own cutting into his abdomen, and then there's maggots. Like come on, man. What a parlor trick.
Yeah.
But what were you gonna say? I feel like you had something to say.
When it's funny, like it wasn't supposed to be a funny visual,
Mm-hmm.
but I have to admit, when he sliced off his fingers and like diagonally, so like he got more of his pinky than he did his ring finger, so it's not even even. Um, because at the beginning when you see like him crafting the glove, I thought for some reason my brain automatically went to, oh, he's gonna cut off one of his fingers to show how sharp they are, isn't he? Like just to be like, it's an edgy horror movie, guys, get ready. But he didn't, and I was glad. But then later, you know, he does that, so like it's uneven at first, and then he's kind of laughing about it, like, but not like the unhinged, like, you know, psycho murderer laughter. It was kind of just a chuckle. So like I kind of chuckled too.
That's yes. So that's what I love about. That's what I and I think a lot of people love about Robert Englund as Freddy. He's like obviously he knows that there's something deep, dark, and wrong with Freddy, but
Yeah.
he's not like this maniacal. Like it's not like wah ha ha wah ha 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 ha. It's just, you know, it's just like this really just fucking weird dude.
Yeah. And I guess like that's supposed to be the takeaway. It's like, yes, you know, the dude just cut off his own fingers. Of course he's unhinged. Like that's the point.
But it's also him just doing it because it's trying to fuck with you.
Yeah.
Like
True.
if you don't, that was kind of the point with the movie. They even, you know, foreshadowed it earlier on. If you
Yeah.
don't give him that attention,
Right.
then it's like, you know, so if you laughed at him, he'd be like, what? This is terrifying. Look
Yeah,
at what
right.
I did.
Like, could you imagine him? I mean, you know, I feel like people make jokes about, you know, films in the '80s and like, oh, you know, everything's getting so violent. Like, could you imagine Freddy trying to scare a kid nowadays and him doing that and them just being like, "Wow, you're stupid," and him being like, "What? Wait a minute."
Just the kid's like, here, watch this. Okay,
Oh,
so it's a mad scientist and there's three people. What's the worst thing that can happen?
I hate you. I hate you so much. I hate you so much. I was going to make the joke of the kid, you know, you remember the kid who was always in your grade that would, you know, put the staple through his skin and be like, oh, you know, it doesn't hurt or anything.
Right.
And I could imagine Freddy, like, either being like, whoa, that's rad, or like high-fiving him or being like, kid, what the fuck?
I kind of don't want to kill you.
Kind of, yeah, can we hang out?
Um,
Oh, God.
That's an awkward transition to what I wanted to mention. Ooh. Um, I was trying to eventually mention what his original take was supposed to be.
Oh
That's not the
no!
transition I want to make. Damn it!
Okay, so wait, let me share the other piece that I wanted to
Please,
on this. That
please,
way we don't make that a segue because
please,
fuck that.
please do.
So the one thing that I really enjoyed was that might have been a bad segue too, but what I enjoyed writing wise at the beginning of the movie was that it
Noodle
started.
arms.
No, not noodle arms, Matt. Jesus Christ. I liked uh, how it focused on Tina first. I think that was her name.
Yes, yeah, it threw you off.
That's the only right, Nancy and Tina. Yeah. So it focuses on Tina at first, and then she's brutally murdered, and then it kind of switches off to Nancy, and I was like, oh, okay, didn't see that one coming. Usually, a horror movie kind of takes its time to just follow one character to be the main protagonist, or you follow them as a group kind of
Right,
deal.
out of the ones that you've seen, that's
Yeah.
what you've
What I've come
noticed.
to expect, yeah.
Yeah.
So I thought that was an interesting take, just for something different.
But I think longtime horror movie fans could see some of the writing on the wall because it's like, oh, these two had sex, therefore they die. If you remember, you've seen Scream. You could actually write some of the notes down, literally.
True, yeah.
By
That
the
was
way,
the
you know who directed Scream, right?
I probably do, but
Wes Craven,
right.
the same director of Nightmare on Elm Street.
Ah, okay. Oh, that would make a lot of sense, wouldn't it?
Yes, exactly, and that's what's so fun about it is that the genre seemed dead to many people, and then Scream comes out, and then they're like, oh, never mind, whoops, never mind.
Oh, the other thing that was, I was right. I watching the beginning of the movie and talking texting with you. Like I heard for their sex scene. I had a different screen up, so I just hear this howling, and I'm like, what the fuck? Did Freddy possess a dog? What the? And I go back. I'm like, oh. And then you're like, yeah, of course they died. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. Of course they died.
Oh yeah, the fact that and you also switch screens quickly. Like you're watching it and then you're just looking at something else and then you come back to watch it and then Freddy's goddamn glove is up out of the bathwater and you're like, what?
Yeah.
You're texting me like, what the hell is happening?
The angle of it is his hand coming out of the bathtub between her legs in the bathtub scene. And I'm just like, that one actually got me. I was like, what the fuck? And I look at I'm like, oh, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
You want to know how that one was done?
I don't know. Like, do I?
Yes. Bottomless tub
Huh.
and a giant pool.
Oh.
So I believe I don't know what they had, either like some kind of like wrapping or something that made it look like it was like an ice, like she was like drowning in ice.
Right, yeah.
But yeah, no, I think it was her stunt actress who we saw
Right.
side boob. I don't believe that was her actual actress. I don't believe. But either way, so when she's drowning, that's in a pool, and then it's a bottomless tub set. So that's what I love so much, all practical effects.
Yeah.
Because it's 85.
Yeah,
So-
that's nice too.
By the way, that guy, the stunt guy, he was literally on fire. Like they literally said, "Hey, we got this expert here, who's an expert in stunts," and I think they just had to ask him. They were like, "What if if we wanted to do this, how would that work?" And I believe he told them like, "Oh yeah, you would do this and this and this, and I would have to have this kind of protective gear on." And they were like, "So do you want to do it?"
Right.
I'm pretty sure he wasn't like a dedicated fire guy.
Huh.
I'll check, but
I feel like you have to be to do that stunt.
well, no, he was a dedicated stunt guy. Like he wasn't like just some rando on the street.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, no. But yeah, I feel like you have to have maybe I'm wrong, but I thought there were not necessarily a law, but
Well, it's 85.
That's also true. But, like, the idea of like you have to be trained to do fire stunts to be allowed legally to do that stunt.
You would think.
Yeah, you're right. I would think. I do
I'm
think. I hope.
I'm genuinely curious.
I mean,
Oh, oh, by the way, yes.
now maybe it wasn't in '85.
But I have to point out, yes, during the underwater sequence, Heather Langenkamp, that's the actress who played Nancy, she was replaced by a stunt woman.
Right.
And yeah, so they built a tub. So the tub was built in a bathroom set that was built over a swimming pool. I feel like I'm going over like a Native American burial ground, like, and it was built on an ancient Native American. Like it's just it's a this within a this within a this.
It's white
And
suburbia, so I wouldn't be surprised if that's how Freddy became.
that would be hilarious. Freddy's just like, wow, the white man's burden, huh? And it's like, Jesus Christ, Fred. Fucking Fred, you're kind of a dick. But let's see here. Oh, so interesting thing. So I just want to like read off some really fun, interesting special effects stuff. So, when remember the melting staircase? Apparently, they used pancake mix. Like when her feet is going, like they're going through the stairs.
Yeah, right.
See, again, that's something that it's harder to tell. But I could tell now. I'm like, oh yeah, that's clearly pancake mix. But like as a kid, even if you told me it was, I'd be like, really? Because I'd have to squint. But literally, it looks like pancake mix that I use in my house. And I think that also really does help, though. Like I mentioned before with the color of the blood, like it really makes me go, even if there's a geyser shooting up, I'm like, no, but like it looks fake, so it's okay. Like it kind of slips past a certain radar. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But something interesting as well. Apparently, Jim Doyle, the special effects artist, so there was that scene where he stretches through the wall. That beautiful scene. Apparently, the wall.
Or like phase through the bars.
No. Like when his face and hands are like into the wall. Like the iconic scene where like his face is like pushing out. Yeah. Apparently that was done with spandex. The wall was built out of spandex. It's so beautiful. Just like reading and kind of looking into how they created all of this. But yeah, so is there anything else you wanted to mention before I move on?
No. Yeah, I got it.
So oh, you have something? Or
Oh, I got what I wanted.
oh, okay, cool, because I want to mention the noodle arms that I keep on joking around about. That took you out of the movie? You were like, I thought this guy was a weirdo. Turns out he's a weirdo, but not in a spooky direction.
Yeah, well, it's weird. I didn't know because I knew Freddy Krueger's thing was dreams. I knew that, but I didn't know when that started. So like at first I thought I thought this first movie was going to be like quote unquote his origin story, like he was just going to be a serial killer.
Oh, okay. Damn it.
Aspect, like came in like right at the get-go.
Movies have ruined you. Like Marvel movies, superhero stuff, that's ruined you.
That's fair.
Because everything has to be an origin story. It's like, no, sometimes a guy has just died.
Yeah. I mean, maybe not like specifically an origin story, but like, he's not supernatural at the beginning. I thought he was just going to be, a psychopath serial killer.
Yeah. And it turns out, no, he's dead.
Yeah, I was like, this is supernatural. So once I realized like it was supernatural, I was like, oh, all right, then anything from this point on is like, it's just, I had the suspension of disbelief at that point. I'm like, okay, so whatever he does is like, it's ghosts and shit.
Ooh, spooky. I mentioned to you, I think we were out of sync though, because I was a little bit ahead of you. The teacher, like that she was the random teacher who, was like, oh yeah, turn the page, whatever. She was the psychic in Insidious.
Right. Yeah.
Like the actual, like the psychic, she was like, "Oh, I'm here to help your family," and then she had she had the two guys working with her who were really funny. You remember Insidious, right?
Yes.
Okay, I did. No, it's been a while, so I'm like,
I I think I'm remembering the right movie.
yeah. That was the one with the possessing ghost in the house. It was similar to
Yeah.
Exorcist, but not. Yeah,
Right.
Darth Maul. Yeah.
Darth Maul. God
Uh,
damn it.
I think yeah. I remember what it was. You and I.
In my head every time.
It's Darth Maul. Wasn't it something like you and I went to see Rachel, who we've played some games with over at our Those Guys Play channel? Didn't you and I go see Rachel? We came back and we were just like, we just wanted to put something on, and we had like pretzels, and we were just like,
I think that was Evil Dead.
oh, yes, fucking Evil Dead. Love that movie. So
Yeah,
fun
so
reference.
did for a cast.
No, wait, what?
Or I thought we did. No, maybe I'm.
No. We never talked about Insidious on the podcast. Maybe we came back from the bar then or something.
Maybe.
All I know is for some reason I was like, I'm
Yeah,
here again.
I know we watched it for something.
No. I said, dude, this
Okay.
movie is so good, and I couldn't find Sinister, at least the first one
Right.
on Netflix. So I was
Yeah.
like, oh, Insidious, would you like to watch this? It's not like too bloody, and you were like, sure.
Right.
Like it was,
Right.
it
Yeah.
was, yeah, it was a thriller, but it wasn't like gory.
Yeah.
And Darth Maul really helped.
Oh my god.
Well, because it really undercut that tension. Like he was still a creepy dude,
Yeah.
but seeing him breathing next to him, like, hearing Duel of Fates, it really kind of helped bring down the tension.
Oh
Um,
my.
but yeah, I can't find anything. Maybe it was in like a documentary where I saw it, but I could swear the fire guy, he never had done something to that scale. So maybe he had done that before, but it was like, oh, my arm. But he had never done something to that scale because you saw it was like whole body.
Yeah.
Like it's nuts how like much of his body was burning, and it's like nowadays it's understandably it's the safe thing to do is
Yeah.
like, oh, we'll use some effects and we'll put some green screen, we'll put some suction cups on him. But no, this is 85, so they're like, can we just light a dude on fire? Is New Line Cinema gonna pay us to light a dude on fire? And they did. Well, no, because they needed this because apparently this was not the first company that Craven went to. He at one point he had Disney, and Disney was like, "All right, we'll take it if you tone down like all of it." Could you imagine Nightmare on Elm Street without any of this in it, being like a random ass Disney movie on TV or something?
Oh god.
I'm not saying it's like one of those, like, because I think Tristan's thinking, I'm not saying it's like a Disney movie, like, like a kid's sitcom or something. I
Yeah,
just,
but
because,
it's like every time I think about like Pirates of the Caribbean, I'm like, oh right, that's technically Disney owned.
yes, exactly. Like, you can have something like Pirates of the Caribbean, but you could also have something like Mr. Boogedy, which is a real thing. It's on Disney Plus, Tristan. You're paying for that subscription. You should go check out some Mr. Boogedy.
Oh my god. Okay.
It was a pilot. I only know about it because I follow a YouTube channel called Movie Nights, and they did a review of it. And basically, it was like a Disney pilot turned movie. They were like, "Well, this pilot isn't fucking work. It didn't get picked up, so let's turn it into a movie and air it in like the Disney movie slot in the '80s."
Right.
So I have a feeling this would have been picked up not as a TV pilot, but as a movie. And I don't know. I think that if they would have toned it down, it would have just. I mean, obviously there would have been no geyser. Freddy would not have had the knives. What if he has like batons? Something less threatening. Butter knives, maybe. I don't know. Like obviously they wouldn't have had the scar makeup.
Mm.
I mean, he wouldn't have been burned alive at least. It would have been a very, very different film if Disney of all fucking companies had picked it up. So thank God they were like, hey, could you like tone it down? And Craven was like, no, I'm good. And he just went somewhere else. It was like, good for you. It really feels like he made his movie.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
But one change though that he made, and I respect him for this because he made this change. I initially thought it would be a change because of a not a network, but a production company coming and being like, "Whoa, could we change this?" But no, it was he mentioned himself that he did this. So apparently, initially, Freddy was supposed to be a child molester, which, yeah, I think that's the most. If there was an award for like the most no shit award,
Yeah, right.
it would go to Freddy being a child molester.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where, because apparently there were real life strings of molestations in California at the time, Craven thought it would be a bit too exploitative, understandably. And so they turned him into a murderer. And I have to say, I told you this before the podcast, Tristan, and I'm standing by it. I just imagine Tristan, because it happened to me too, breathing a sigh of relief when she was like, when the mom was like, he was a child, and it went to murderer instead of molester.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, thank God he only killed those kids. Oh, thank God. Like, it's just, I don't know why, it just makes you breathe a sigh of relief. But clearly, though, even though obviously Wes Craven was like, I'm going to change this, I'm happy he didn't tone down the rest of the film where you can clearly imply, like, there's still something wrong here. He's still the creepy old guy.
Yeah.
Like, again, he's still the underbelly. He's the creepy old guy that gets away with this shit. But for understandably, you're not going to, say outright, oh, he's a molester because of everything going on at the time. So I'm okay with both worlds, because clearly you're watching this movie and you're like, ooh, and I don't think those scenes should have been toned down, because why do we not want this guy to be a bastard? Like, he's Freddy.
Yeah.
That's the whole point. You're not supposed to like him.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because usually, with movies like this, yeah, you can go, oh, dang, the teens are going to die, whoop, whoop. But you also have to have the whoop legally. But you don't also want to root for Freddy in this case, because that's just fucking wrong.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's like, by the end of it, I was just screaming at my screen, like, Nancy, kill his dead, ghost, burnt, I don't know any more ass. Just kill him.
If he has any ass left, kill it.
Exactly. Take the sledgehammer off the wall and just go to town.
Also, I think something that was, very, like, just a very good casting choice. And Craven mentioned this himself, so it's not, me coming up with this off the top of my head, but it's still very important. He talks about how he wanted to get someone who wasn't just a stuntman. Nothing wrong with stuntmen, but he wanted to get someone who was an actor and who could really kind of convey all of Freddy. And I think that was very important because, any horror movie villain I talk to you about, Tristan, any older one, you think of Michael Myers from Halloween. You think of Jason Voorhees from Friday the 13th. And they don't have, like, they are played by stuntmen who, yes, have to convey all of that character. It's very hard to do that, just by how you walk rather than how you speak. But having Robert Englund also under that makeup for hours on end, right, it really is a testament to both him as an actor and also Craven trying to look for someone who could really try to, bring this character to life and not just be, a face behind a mask. Again, not that there's anything wrong with that and that someone can't bring something to that role, but it's something that at the time had been done before.
Right.
So having this character be something more than just, a silent antagonist, and really able to fuck with you in plenty of different ways. I mean, even just him, like, his chuckle. Other than the part where he cut off his own fingers, in general, his chuckle, it was disturbing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, no, like his creepy laughs, like when
and
he's
smile
hiding around a corner, or, oh, God, yeah, no. Or
the eyes.
Yeah. Or just, like, his echoing laughter, like, as he's coming into the dream or something. Yeah, no, that was incredibly unsettling.
Yeah. I think what I laughed at, though, and again, this is Craven comedy. This is, how you have Scream be, in a sense. Some of it, you could tell, like, there's little bits of Scream in this. When it wasn't funny at first, but it was when, she bumps into the girl, who, by the way, has Freddy's insignia, his colors on her sweater,
Right. Yeah.
which is something that you don't notice. At least I didn't notice when
Oh,
she
shit.
first bumped into her.
I didn't notice that one. Huh.
Yes, yeah, no, it's literally Freddy's sweater. So, well,
Right.
not a sweater, but like it's the colors. So that's why when she bumps into her, and I mean, she bumped into her randomly, but like kind of, oh, sorry, but she has a bloody nose randomly.
Yeah, I thought that was weird.
And then, of course, she turns around and it's actually Freddy.
Right.
But what I'm getting at, though, is when she's like, or Freddy is like, oh, don't forget your hall pass. And then later on, when she wakes up and she's obviously fucking terrified, she's like, I gotta go home. And the teacher's like, oh, you need a hall pass. I laughed my ass off
Yeah. Oh god.
because it's just so it's just like that kind of like, oh, god damn it, like even in the real world it's just like you're that um not reference or callback, but like just that general, just that line, just the way it's used. It's like that exercise, that acting exercise where you have to say like what in different ways to like it's like you can say what like just to show try to like get your range. It's kind of like
Yeah.
it's just a general acting exercise. So it's just really funny to see it being used two separate times in that way. One obviously very menacingly, and the other time being just genuine, like, oh, but you need your hall pass.
What?
Oh, you did not like the soundtrack as much as I did.
I mean, I just thought it was kind of hilarious.
Just it was dated.
Yeah, it just that 80s synth chase music.
Well, that's fine.
I can't help but laugh every time I hear it now because of the pop culture jokes and everything. But like, because now that I know it's there, I hear it every time, and I'm like, ha.
Well, what I like, it's not even the synth. I just love the way the main theme starts off. Just the dun 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 dun. It's haunting,
Yeah,
and that's what it needed to be. It needed to.
it's bad or anything.
Oh, no, that's fine. I'm saying what it becomes, like what the songs become. I totally get why we can chuckle at that, but just the hook, the beginning of that, it's haunting for me, and I love it. Especially like when she's like leaving the school, and it's like, oh, are you safe? And then the theme hits.
Yeah,
But ooh, there's something we can both agree on unanimously, and I don't know if this is something that's unanimous in the horror fandom, but I feel like it is. Maybe, look, if I'm wrong, any of you listening in through our YouTube channel, through our Podbean, please comment down below. Tell me if I'm wrong. The ending was awful.
oh yeah.
Tristan, so let's play a game. Tristan, what did you think the ending was? I feel like the ending is just like a Rorschach test.
Well, it's funny. At first, when she finally wakes up and she's like, "No, I gave his powers through the fear," and she wakes up and
Yeah.
everything was a dream. I was like, ah. I'm like,
Mhm.
okay, I still get what they were going for, but okay.
Right.
Then they get into the car, and like her mom was like, "Oh, it's great." I'm like, something doesn't. Is this just 80s quirky, or is something not right here?
Well, yeah, because her mom's like, I think I'm going to stop drinking. And I'm just like,
Yeah,
oh, no. Oh,
yeah, the
no.
music started to change, and then the one I did catch was the hood of the car had the stripes on it, and I'm like, "You've got to be fucking kidding me!"
Well, wait, I don't know. Were you saying you got to be fucking kidding me? Like, I can't believe they're going to make this reference, or were you like, Freddy is the car?
Yes.
Oh, no, because I'm just saying,
No,
like,
but at that point, I was just like, "What do you mean it's not over? What the fuck?"
and then when they drag that model, that
Yeah.
plastic
Oh god.
model.
Right. Through the fucking window, I'm like, "What the fuck? Why the fuck?" I'm like, "No, you ruined everything."
Yeah. Oh, that was awful. Oh, man. I remember hating that when I was 12.
Yeah, I
Nostalgia.
think
Uh,
I think the phrase we used was the phrase I used was they did they did a lot of cool things, and then they just took it and drove it into a brick wall, and you were like, yeah, that's what the kids did after they drove off.
I mean, Freddy drove them into a brick wall, probably.
Right, exactly. I'm like, you're not wrong.
Yeah. So here's what has been said on the Wikipedia. So apparently, Craven originally planned for the film to have a more evocative ending. Nancy kills Krueger by ceasing to believe in him, then awakens to discover that everything that happened in the film was an elongated nightmare. Which, again, you weren't a fan of, and I'm not saying I would have been a fan of, but better than
I
this.
still get that. Like, I can, all right, like, I can go with that. I can roll with that.
Yes. However, New Line leader Robert Shea demanded a twist ending, in which Krueger disappears, and all seems to have been a dream. Only for the audience to discover that it was a dream within a dream within a dream. According to Craven, and so now we're quoting Craven here, the original ending of the script had Nancy come out the door. It's an unusually cloudy and foggy day. A car pulls up with her dead friends in it. I know that they're alive, but I'm hoping that they're dead. Like, I'm hoping that they're all like corpses, like the mom was when she was lowered into the bed.
Right. Oh, yeah. Oh,
Beautiful visual.
Yeah.
And also, by the way, was very fitting end for her character for what she did.
Yeah. Or, yeah, just, yeah, flip-flopping so much instead of just...
But anyway, so a car pulls up with her dead friends in it. She's startled. She goes out and gets in the car, wondering what the hell is going on, and they drive off into the fog with the mother left standing on the doorstep, and that's it. It was very brief and suggestive that maybe life is sort of dreamlike too. Shea wanted Freddy to be driving the car and have the kids screaming. It all became very negative. This is, again, still Craven talking. I felt a philosophical tension to my ending. Shea said, "That's so 60s. It's stupid. I refused to have Freddy in the driver's seat." This is what, back to Craven. He's saying, "I refused to have Freddy in the driver's seat, and we thought up about 5 different endings. The one we used with Freddy pulling the mother through the doorway amused us all so much we couldn't not use it." Okay, so I guess maybe they looked at that as being funny, so...
Oh, okay. Like, if that's their take on it, then I wholeheartedly agree with that. Like, if it's so ridiculous and funny and they all knew that they just couldn't not end it that way, I get it.
I mean, this is the guy who made Scream.
Yeah.
So, you know what? Fuck. Good point. So apparently Craven explained that the effect mentioned, like the fog, just didn't work out for the team, so they had to film without it. So I guess maybe... So they were supposed to have 20 people around with fog machines, but the breeze was so much that the fog was gone.
Oh, geez.
Well, because they're out in the open.
Yeah. No, just hilarious that like the wind kept literally blowing it away, so we couldn't do it.
And it was always Wes's idea to pan to the little girl's jumping rope, which makes sense.
Yeah.
But and so that's the thing too with that ending, or with his original ending, like Craven's original idea. The movie would never have been open to having any sequels, which is obviously that's fair, but arguably with this twist ending, you could potentially have a sequel. Maybe that was also another idea as well.
Oh yeah, well that was what came to my mind first, because I know there are multiple movies in this now franchise. I'm not saying they wanted to do that at the beginning, but it was like, like of course, of course he comes back because there's multiple movies.
Yeah. Also, the song, which became throughout all the movies, became a very a big staple in all of them. 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you.
Right.
3, yeah. They were singing it throughout the film. 3, 4, better lock your door. 5, 6, grab your crucifix. 7, 8, gonna stay up late. And then 9, 10, never sleep again. Because, no shit. By the way, I loved how Nancy just took those pills. It was like just the pills themselves were like, all I had to do was read the font and I was awake.
Yeah, stay awake.
No, like but like the font was so in your face. I didn't need to take the pills. Just read it. And I'm fucking all I have to do is read it and I'm like doing speed. Like I didn't have to, like, I'm being serious here, Tristan. Just don't even take the pills. Just read that font, and immediately I go from, like, I'm kind of tired to just belting, like, believe it or not, I'm walking on air. Like, it's just, I cannot imagine feeling tired after reading that. Oh, we mentioned Evil Dead earlier. But interestingly enough, I'm so happy that I showed you Evil Dead because during the film, they were playing Evil Dead, and funnily enough, they were playing Evil Dead in the film because apparently during Evil Dead in the basement there was a poster for the movie Hills Have Eyes, which was directed by Craven, and so he decided, you know what, I'll give you guys one. We'll have the movie playing during the movie, which makes sense. You know, you're watching a horror movie at night,
Yeah.
and then you get killed. I hope he got to see the end of the movie. That would suck if he just didn't.
Yeah.
But what was I going to? I was going to mention something else as well. I mean, we got most of the special effects stuff, but overall, I was just, but you know, I was saying to you earlier before we began the episode. You see why people love this movie because you know.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure we made it very apparent earlier, and you've heard it, everyone listening, and sprinkled throughout. You've never seen this movie or any of the movies in the franchise. You've seen some clips of Freddy being whack
Yeah.
in later movies where he's like making jokes and shit.
I may have
yeah,
seen like the geyser as a clip, like here and there.
probably, yeah, like memed or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall though, you know, it's such a good movie. I think that it's something that, you know, I feel like it, again, watching it on Blu-ray, you can notice some little things here and there, but it's just something that I want to say it's timeless, but of course, you know, there's little things here and there that I'm sure if a kid or a teenager saw it today, they'd be like, what's up with those phones? They're like corded and whatnot, and why is that TV so small? And why did Johnny Depp wear a crop top? Things that we cannot explain. No one knows. They are parts of a bygone era that have been lost with the sands of time. We do not know. But
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. I feel like we're in that age range where we're old enough to be like, oh, wow, that's dated, but young enough to be like, well, I've seen those before or known people who had them, so, like, I get it.
do you mean the crop top, or because I had corded phones? I don't know what you're referring to here. Because I had corded phones.
I know people that like, oh, I've never seen a record player, and like my parents have a record player. I'm like, or like, what's a record? I'm like, what the fuck? What?
That's odd. Really, people
No,
our age?
I don't remember where or who, but I could have sworn I've seen someone be. I heard someone be like, "What's a record?" Or, "Oh, I've never held a record or seen a record." I'm like, "Oh no!"
And they're our age.
Either, well, not our age, but like close. Not that far off from us.
Oh, like 4 years?
Something like that, maybe. Yeah.
Okay. Well, no, because we're in a weird age range. You and I being 27, being 92 babies. We're in a weird age range where, like, if you get a few years younger than us, like you'll have some you have, like, you know, it seems like we're in a completely different era, which I believe we actually are.
Yeah.
But a few years older than us, and they probably will think like, oh, you guys are so, and then we'll be like, nah, dude, like, you know, VHS tapes, DVDs, records, you know, confuse some older people. But
Right. Yeah.
but no, yeah, that's odd. But no, but I had corded phones, and I mean, I remember when it wasn't that long when I was younger, but I remember not, well, the corded phone wasn't, but what I'm saying is, what I remember is, I remember when I went on the internet, my mom couldn't use the phone.
Right. Oh god.
I know, it's insane.
That's what Freddy should have, instead of like chuckling, he should have just made the dial-up noise.
Well, hey, remember, his tongue was the fucking
Oh god,
the receiver.
right. That's true. Yeah, that was weird. That was definitely a scene I was like, well, gonna see that in my nightmares.
I love it so much. Like, the whole movie happens, and I'm like, Tristan, what do you think? And you're like, man, that receiver scene though. And I'm like, Tristan, priorities. But
Uh,
yeah, so you were not a fan of the ending because bullshit, or just without realizing, without us knowing that it was meant to be a joke, you were like, they're really trying to sell me on this shit.
yeah, no, I really wanted Nancy to get the win at that point, and then it
Hmm.
just felt like they swept the rug out from underneath her. It's like, nope, everything, everything she did, everything her mom did, nope, nobody wins in the end. They all lose.
Especially because, as I said before, they foreshadowed it with Johnny Depp's character while he was eating food, which, looking at his body type, I'm like, you don't eat. That's fucking, my suspension of disbelief is just completely. So, no, you saw how fucking petite the dude. He fucking pulled off a crop top. You're gonna tell me he eats food like the rest of us? Fuck off. So, but he was quote unquote eating food,
Oh,
and on that like little tiny mini bridge with Nancy, and they were talking about how, there was a civilization that, this Eastern civilization that, they do like dream training,
right,
and like they write music in their dreams, they write poems in their dreams and shit. And that's when, and it was like, well, what happens if there's a monster in their dreams? And he was like, well, they turn their back on it and they don't give it power. So it just made so much sense. Like, yeah, you're just building up to that. Just fucking do that.
right.
But yeah, so I'm not. I mean, I liked the car being basically Freddy's car. Like if he was having a midlife crisis and instead of killing kids, he went to go buy a car, he would pick that car. But
Right. Oh
oh, I
god.
loved how your opinion on Nancy's mom changed drastically the second she becomes a murderer. You're like, oh, well, okay, apparently I have respect for you now.
Well, I mean,
You were like, no, because your exact words were mine. You just didn't know because we were texting. But in my head, I was like, "Go, mom," and then you said that verbatim, and I was like, "Oh shit."
yeah, no, because at first, like, she started, telling her daughter, oh, just go to sleep. He's dead. He can't get you, and starts drinking. And I'm just like, wow, all right, great.
Bullshit. Thanks, mom.
And yeah, and then and she takes the bottle and smashes it on the floor. I'm like, yeah, go Nancy. And then she comes. Then her mom comes back in later, and it's like, oh no, I know he's dead and can't hurt you because I watched him burn. And I'm like, oh, okay then. I mean, I still don't like the response, but like, yeah, go mom.
Why do you think I drink? I
Yeah, it's
thought
like
it
I
was.
burned a man alive. Why do you think I drink? I'm like, here's your bottle, mother.
Nancy is like, I thought it was because of you and dad. That's like number three, with two
That's like,
being a close you.
oh,
Starts drinking.
Jesus Christ.
By the way, I love how she has a hidden stash.
Oh my god.
Like if anyone's wondering, like, oh well, is the mom an alcoholic? That's how you fucking know.
Yeah, right.
She had a fucking hidden stash with the goddamn linens.
True. Yeah.
Like, holy shit. What, you drop your bottle on the floor every night? Like, dear God, she just had a hidden fucking stash. I'm like, ooh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, no, just, and I mean, hey, we've been focusing on the mom. We really should mention how much of a piece of shit the dad is. We have to give him a round of applause.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
the fact that he's just, I mean, granted, again, like, yes, he doesn't know what's going on because,
Yeah.
you know,
But no,
but
he was total, dad who's a cop in white suburbia. Like,
yeah,
to a T.
yeah, follows the daughter, but doesn't really listen.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know, at the around the end of the movie, it's like if I'm the dad, I don't believe her, but I'm still gonna watch myself. No, it's my daughter, and it's like, you know what? I'm
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
watch her myself just in case some dumb shit happens. I don't know what the fuck would happen, but
Yeah.
just in case, I'm gonna watch. But no, he
And
sends
I mean, lo and
sends
behold, the house then becomes, on fire, and he's just like, "What in the fuck is going on?"
well, because he sends Officer McFuckwit to
Yeah.
to
Oh, right. That was the point I was screaming too. I'm like, she's literally shattering windows, screaming for help. That is the moment where you go get the goddamn captain.
what I loved is he's just like everything's fine. Get my
Yeah.
dad, you asshole.
Asshole.
I have to say, she really like. Again, there was like certain parts where I think it was when she was saying, when she was calling her mom mother. I was like, that's that scene. I was like, I'm not feeling it, Nancy. But but every time she like when she called him an asshole, I was like, yeah, you believed it. Like she was selling me on it. Also,
Yeah.
when she said oh, what did she? Oh yeah, when she said, and you nabbed the fucker
Right.
to
Yeah.
Johnny Depp, I was like, oh, Nancy, I was not
Oh.
expecting this level of sass from you.
I asked you to do one thing. One fucking thing. And you fall asleep on me, you dick.
See, that's the thing, right? The way Johnny Depp's character was, it felt like, oh, you dumb little idiot, versus
Yeah.
it seeming malicious.
Right. I'm like, I can't be too mad at him, but at the same time, I'm like, oh, you
That's
fuckwit.
that's what happened. Like, that's why it's like you have to. I feel like in that role, you have to cast someone with boyish good looks versus like, what if we cast, what if we cast a meathead who kind of has this aggressive energy about him? Not all meatheads do. I'm not judging y'all. I'm just saying if you cast someone in a movie like this where everyone has a
Yeah.
specific, they look a certain way, they act a certain way. If he's gonna be this aggressive type,
Right. Yeah, that's the hilarious part for me, because that was supposed to be Tina's boyfriend.
yeah,
And yet, out of all of them, I would argue he has the least gory death.
yes.
Still, terrifying, but like the fact that he wasn't turned into human soup.
Yeah, no, Freddy was like, I love how Freddy was just like, you know what? I'll be nice. All right.
I'll be nice to this
I'll
one.
give you the first class Epstein.
Oh my god. Jesus.
I'll be nice, okay?
Yeah.
I'm not a bad guy. I mean, I'm a bad guy, but I'm not like a bad guy.
Oh my god.
But,
And then by Johnny Depp's character, he's like, you know what? I'm tired of all of you.
I genuinely, I told you, I texted you, dude. I feel like Freddy was like, I'm gonna be real. I didn't know I could. I didn't know. I thought about it, and I was like, this is so fucking stupid. I'm not gonna be able to do this. And then I did it, and I was like, oh, all right, fuck.
I think the joke that I made was that if he had saved half the budget, like it's like you went a little extra on that one,
Yeah.
Freddie. You could have saved some of that budget to make the other kid's death a little more gruesome. You could have balanced them out.
And that's what I love so much. They in real life just didn't. They're like, yeah, we could put like I assume they had coil or something in the sheets to like choke the guy out in the prison. I assume they had something to like make it seem like the sheets were actually coming to life.
Right.
But then in the case of Johnny Depp, they're like, remember that 495 gallons of fake blood we got, Wes? I remember that. What if we just use them now?
Yeah, right. We've
because
got all this fake blood left over. Well, we might as well use it. We bought it, right?
Yeah, no. So apparently the budget was supposed to be, I think, like half of what it eventually became.
Oh, damn.
Well, no, because like once everyone invested in it, it was like over $1 million. So like, I guess they just had the money for all that fucking fake blood. By the way,
Spend the entire budget on this 4-gallon drum of fake blood. All right.
oh no. Remember, 500. You said 500 gallon.
Right. Yeah.
But anyway, apparently the budget was 1.8 million, and they made 57 million. There's a reason, and this is true, why they call New Line Cinema the house that Freddy built. It was their fucking cash cow.
Yeah. True.
Yeah. But anything else you want to say about the movie before we wrap this one up?
No, I think that's about everything. I have to admit though, like I did enjoy myself, and like I'm glad we got to talk about one of your favorites, because I feel like a lot of the time we're talking about my favorites.
Or stuff that we both
Yeah,
Um, well, the reason why I knew you were gonna like this, at least in some respect, is because it wasn't too silly yet. Although I think that you can laugh at Freddy later, but it wasn't like he's still menacing, but it's not. I don't know. There's blood, and obviously again 500 gallons, but there's a difference between he got blended versus I'm hanging a guy off a meat hook. You know,
yeah,
there's a difference in level of like there's a certain type of violence that I feel like I know you well enough to know like yeah, you don't want to see, even if you don't see his back, you don't want to see a guy like, someone runs in and goes because the guy's on a meat hook. You don't want to see that. But seeing this, it's like okay, yeah, and then of course seeing Nancy fight back again, it's not complete helplessness.
right,
It's not. Again, it's a strong female lead. Again, much different than some other horror movies where it's usually just running, 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 running.
Running. The first there's running, then there's screaming.
Then there's murder. Then there's running. Then there's
dinosaurs.
All that shit.
But
And
Kruger,
that every horror movie has. The dinosaurs definitely.
Kruger, finds a way.
Jesus Christ. But that's oh my god, Jeff Goldblum as Freddy Krueger.
Oh Christ.
I don't even want to think about that, but
right.
I just feel as if it was one that definitely would resonate with you in a similar way, not one-to-one, but in a very similar way to The Ring, which you and I have talked about many different sequels, the original movie and some of its sequels, some of its not so good sequels, but we've talked about that and you really did enjoy it. And in my head I was like, if you enjoyed the first Ring, I feel like you would enjoy this. Again, not a one-to-one translation here, but
yeah. I did have a good time with this.
Exactly. Yeah. It
just the end, but that was all mutual.
Yeah, exactly. The end. I feel like, thousands of horror fans cried out in terror.
Yeah, it was just. Yeah. No, I was worried because I was like, oh man, I'm about to go off, and then you beat me to it, and I'm like, oh, thank God, he hated it too.
Oh, you were so worried that I was going to be like, the ending was immaculate.
Well, not immaculate, but you'd be like, yeah, it kind of falls off at the end. I was like,
no, that was shit.
Like, oh, he really likes this. I don't want to completely shit on it.
No.
I look at the text. He's like, oh, he's completely shitting on it. Oh, thank God.
No, it was pretty bad. But either way, though, I want to say thank you all so much for tuning into all of our festivities for Halloween in July. Now, I want to mention that at this point, because again, by the time this is coming out, is the 31st of Halloween in July. When it comes to our Those Guys Play channel, you've probably seen some really fun videos that we've put out. We might even had one come out for the 31st of Halloween in July. Most likely we did. But what I want to get to specifically, and also, by the way, on our Game Time channel, we've had some fun Halloween reviews there as well. But what I want to mention, though, is the fact that there might be a chance that we've put out other Halloween stuff before this. If so, great. Enjoy that. Completely ignore the fact that I'm saying this is the only thing we've recorded for Halloween in July. But I am under the impression right now that due to Tristan and I's schedules, this is the only thing we're going to be able to record. We'll have other content out, but like stuff that is exclusively specific to Halloween in July, I assume it is literally just this. If not, don't at me. Just ignore this. It won't be Freddy Nightmare on Elm Street related with Freddy, but still, maybe we end up fitting something else in. I don't know yet, but I hope either way you've had a very
dream.
What?
It was all a dream.
Maybe, I don't know, but I just in general though hope you've had a fun and spooky Halloween in July. So, love you all. Take care and tune in next time for something completely different. See ya. You could say goodbye, Tristan.
I can't, Matt. He's here.
Oh, that sucks. Well, take care. I'm getting the fuck off this call real quick.